There are a lot of different dating coaches out there who claim to be able to help you attract women, to help improve your own success with women. But the reality is, a lot of them are complete frauds. A lot of them, they don't pull hot girls, they don't even approach girls at all or meet women in their own lives. And sadly, there's quite a few who behind the scenes actually have unattractive girlfriends that you probably wouldn't even approach if you saw them in public. So there are a lot of charlatans out there. However, there are also a handful of coaches that are actually legitimately able to help you, that actually know what they're doing. And the only way to really determine which ones are which is by looking at hidden camera infield footage of them approaching women and analyzing it. And a lot of coaches, they don't even have any infield, and those ones pretty much are all frauds, right? Those ones pretty much all suck. But we can look at some of the ones that do have infield and compare them to see which ones are legit and which ones aren't. So in this video, we're going to be looking at Todd V, who's one of the most popular, and he's been around for, he's like the Drake of pickup. He's been around for a long ass time. I think he's been coaching since like 2003, 2004. He was in the book The Game. He's starting to look quite old. I don't know if he's like 50, maybe in his 50s. And then we're going to compare him to How to Beast, who technically probably wouldn't call himself a pickup artist or dating coach because his channel is mostly fitness, lifestyle, vlogs, those kinds of things. Yet he does have videos where he shows you how to pick up girls, and he has a course. He sells a course about how to get better at attracting women. So if you sell a course, you're effectively a coach. You're claiming to be an expert. And so I think it's fair to include him in this series. So with that said, let's just get into the footage.
Hi. Excuse me. I love the look.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Do you have like a very slight accent?
No.
No? All right, fair enough.
Well.
I'm Todd. You are kind of, I have to go in a bit, but I'm intrigued by first the look, but then also like this with it. Because you look so like elegantly dressed down Midwesty, and then that's very like edgy. So sometime when I don't have to meet friends and you don't have to meet friends, how do you feel about drinks with cute, charming, intriguing strangers? Yeah? Okay. Cool. I'm actually going to Europe this week, but hopefully I'll be able to get in touch with you. If not, I'll hit you up when I get back.
I'll be here.
Okay. You'll be right here, just like sitting, waiting.
Spot waiting.
Oh my, that's so romantic and sweet. How could I not be charmed by that? All right. Let's do numbers quick then, and then go
I'll give
from
you
there.
my number and then you text me.
Sounds good to me. Let's do this. All right. What is it?
253.
All right, so overall, that approach was fairly simple. It was fairly basic, but he did add a couple little turn of phrases. How do you say it? Turns of phrases? I don't know. A couple little, witty sounding, or he added a little bit of uniqueness to the way he was speaking by saying things. Oh, you have this Midwestern look, but also, I don't know what the other part was, but that makes it edgy. And that makes it less boring and less generic. And women don't get approached very much in the day at all. But when they do get approached, usually at bars or clubs, they hear the same basic things again and again. And doing a little bit, even just a little bit of using your language a little bit differently than most other guys will make you stand out and will make you more intriguing to the girl. Now, I would say when he brought up, oh, you're going to be waiting here just for me, still right at this bench as I leave. It was a little cheesy, but I mean, she went with it, so I can't criticize it too much, right? She was already interested enough to go with what might have otherwise been too cheesy of a joke. And I would say he does overall have the way he carries himself is pretty unreactive, right? He doesn't seem like he's trying too hard. He doesn't sound overly excitable and reactive. And no, he seems like he's comfortable with himself. He doesn't need too much from the girl to feel good in his own skin. And that's a sign of someone who's been doing this for a long time and who's already had a lot of success, because the more that you've gone on dates, the more you've gotten laid, the more of all those kinds of things that have happened, you just get a demeanor where you're like, I can take it or leave it. Like, I'm interested in meeting you, but I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to be pissed off. It's not going to ruin my day or affect my mood very much if you turn out not to be interested. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. And although that's something you develop over the long term, you can also develop that in the short term with momentum. by approaching a lot of women in a short amount of time, you'll get that same vibe. And then every time you get to that state, it becomes more and more a part of who you are in general.
All right. What is it?
253.
Hey, check this out. I am not a photographer, but I can picture me and you together. No, honestly, I saw you. I thought you were super cute. Also, I dig the Gym Shark.
Yeah.
I'm David.
Just
You just work out?
Yeah. Actually, I have a class at 6:30 in 5 minutes.
All right, I'll let you run. I actually gotta run to meet a friend too. Would you want to hang out sometime?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. So your number?
Do you have Instagram? Okay.
Oh yeah, what's your Instagram?
Okay, we're about to get into something interesting. This approach was more basic than Todd's approach, right? It had less going on. He's literally just telling her she's attractive, asking one basic question, and then asking her on a date. That's it. Anyone could do this. And that's what I think is actually cool about it, because you can consume thousands of hours of pickup content thinking, how do I not run out of things to say? How do I keep the conversation going? How do I push pull? How do I do this? That can all be useful, right, as you get more experience. But when you're new to this, when you haven't approached a lot of women, just going in, saying that you think the girl is cute, asking like where she's from or what she does for work, and then just going for the number is a good starting point, right? It's a good way to get out of your comfort zone, to start getting some level of success. And it's something that is very bare bones, but that you can build on over time. So I would say, yes, this is very much a beginner approach. Actually, he said a cheesy pickup line. Now, he usually just says, I thought you were cute. And this one, he said a cheesy pickup line, which is not as good as just saying the girl is attractive. But actually, a cheesy pickup line can be a good way to not let your ego take over, or to get over your ego a little bit, because you're not putting yourself on the line as much when you say a cheesy pickup line. So if you have really bad approach anxiety, that can be useful. But anyway, what he did is very basic. There's not a lot to it. It's not something that would take more than 10 minutes to learn how to replicate. But that's what's cool, because if you did this approach with 20, 50 women over the course of a week, you'd probably end up getting a date, even though you're not doing anything that fancy. You're not doing anything that special. You're not really doing game, but it's a good starting point. And if you're someone who's struggling, I would recommend to start just, hey, I wanted to say I thought you were cute, couple basic questions, go for the number, and then build on that over time.
I want to meet a friend too. Would you want to hang out sometime?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. So your number?
Do you have Instagram? Okay.
Oh yeah, what's your Instagram?
Hey.
Good God.
I know. Hey, I'm sorry. No, it's just me, not Christ, just me. I'm sorry.
Okay, a lot going on right there in like 5 seconds. So that is the worst approach you could pretty much do. Approaching two girls from behind, speaking while you're still behind them, and then grabbing them by the shoulder. Imagine that you're walking down the street and someone who is twice your size, so let's say like a 6'5" football player, like a linebacker, comes up from behind and says, hey, and then taps your shoulder. You're going to be like, what the fuck? You're going to freak out. You have to be aware of the woman's perspective. That is a very intimidating, uncalibrated approach. It's shocking to me that someone who's been doing this, this might not be a new clip, so let's say 15 years, is still making one of the most basic fundamental errors that I teach my bootcamp clients on day one. That's one of the first things they learn not to do, because a lot of them have this same habit. It's very common, if you don't get some coaching, to have that bad habit, but it's easy to fix. I am shocked that he does this. I will say that at least he's apologizing and calibrating. Sorry. At least he's calibrating. And then he says, I'm not God, which they didn't even say that. I guess he's misinterpreting what they said intentionally, but he's already saying something cocky when he started on a very bad note. And it's kind of also uncalibrated. So you don't want to double down on being more pushy, more on the cocky, like too much energy kind of side when the girl is not receptive and when she's uncomfortable. So saying that over the top line, it really didn't fit in that context, right? He should be making them comfortable, making them at ease, because he started on such a bad note.
I'm sorry, it's a little extreme. Hey, just Todd, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hi.
You are? And I wanted to tell you guys that you're absolutely adorable. I'm sorry that the means in which I got your attention was a little shocking. But no, I noticed that. It's okay. It was totally fine. But I just wanted, do you guys live here? Or are you? Okay, absolutely lovely. And I just wanted a couple seconds / maybe minutes. All right. To meet you and find out if you're as cool as your looks suggest.
Where do you work?
Where do I work? I run a business here in town.
What do you run?
I'm a public speaker. So I do like life and that, or self-help speaking, and then I travel to other cities.
So it's a good sign that basically she's asking questions and investing. So even though it started very badly, he did manage to recover it. So you have to give him credit for that. But he wouldn't have needed to recover it if he didn't approach in such a really bad way at the beginning.
On the weekends and do out there.
Okay. Just making sure you were a host, promoter.
Host, promoter. No, I'm not upselling anything right now. I'm not trying to bring you to any. If I were to try and bring you to a club, it'd be because I'm there and I'd like to see you there myself personally.
Excuse me. I know this is super random, but I saw you and I thought you were cute, and I wanted to say hi.
Hi.
I'm David.
Christina.
What are you up to today, Christina?
Going to a peer learning class for C++.
So I would say How to Beast has a noticeably better tonality than Todd V, whereas Todd V sounds like he's speaking from his throat. It's kind of nasally. It's kind of, it's a little bit in the nerd archetype, the way that he talks. Whereas How to Beast, it's more like, fuck boy or frat guy, or, it's more confident, and it's definitely more masculine. So even though so far How to Beast hasn't done anything very good on the technical side of things, his voice, the way he carries himself, is more masculine, and that does go a long way.
C++, you do programming?
I'm trying to.
All right, I used to do a lot of SQL work.
Oh, really? I've done SQL class before.
That was awesome.
That's like the easier stuff.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier. Don't hate on me.
Yeah, it definitely is though.
But I'll let you run. I actually got to meet a friend too. But would you want to hang out sometime?
Maybe.
Weird. What's your phone number?
707.
I know you guys probably get that one.
I think it's funny that this inspiring music starts coming in the background. Like he just did the most amazing thing of all time. Dun, 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 oh! I got a flaky number. That's pretty much what happened there, right? Now there's a chance that he met her again or that it wasn't flaky just through sheer luck, right? Like if you approach enough girls, get their numbers, some of them are just, they're maybe sexually frustrated. You're exactly their type, whatever. It will work sometimes, but he really didn't do anything beyond the bare minimum of just coming in, and he was confident. You have to give him that. He did come across as confident. His tonality was good, but that's it, right? In terms of what he said, he just asked one question about what her major was, and she talked about CQ, and he made one statement about how he did that. That's the conversation. So it was literally 30 seconds. The plus side is this shows, and a lot of people don't believe this, that you can get numbers in 30 seconds and you can get dates just by running volume, right? Just approaching a lot of girls, having short interactions like this, that will add up. Now, is it going to be the highest success rate? No, right? I want to emphasize it's not the best way to go about it, but as a beginner, it's something. Still, what How to Beast is doing, it's definitely not impressive enough that I think this guy should be selling a course.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So like I love it.
You know exactly how that works. No. The only thing I have to offer is love, affection, and friendship.
So that's what you want? You scared
Wow.
me. I fucking almost hit you. I was like, what the fuck?
Really? That would have been funny, actually.
I probably would. I was like,
That would've been-
that's why I jumped.
That would have been okay, though, because that would be like a good story for my day. I'd be like, you know what? This girl, it is what it is. That would have been chill, though. That's what it is. Yeah, but no, I'm curious about you. What are you guys doing tomorrow?
I don't know. We don't know.
What are you guys doing tomorrow? What are you up to?
She knows.
Work tomorrow, not night, during the day. I'm busy tomorrow night. What are you guys doing during the day tomorrow? I would love to take you guys for brunch. Brunch.
What time is brunch?
Let's do this. It'll be. Nice experience. I do have to. Hey, I do have to go with my friends pretty soon though, because otherwise they'll get pissed at me. Let's seriously go grab a friendly brunch, see if we enjoy each other's company, and if we do, that's great. If we don't, then we all had a decent meal.
Okay.
All right, sound good? I guess what's your number? But let's plan on 4 o'clock tomorrow. We'll get in case we need to change it up. We'll do that. Okay. Okay. What do you?
You know where the...
There's a couple interesting things there. One is that the girl walked away, and that's where a lot of guys would have given up. And obviously there are times when you should give up. When a girl says, I have a boyfriend, or if she's like, you approach her and she just starts walking faster to try to escape. But she just moved a little bit to the cash register or whatever, and she was engaging with him up to that point, right? She was asking him questions, she was conversational, she was laughing. So I would say in this case, he made the right move to persist at least a little bit further. And I imagine How to Beast, you put him in that same scenario, he probably, based on what I've seen, probably would have given up. So you have to give him credit for that. Inviting both of them to brunch is going to likely shoot himself in the foot, because even if they go to brunch, they're both going, and then how's he going to pull, right? Unless he thinks he can get the threesome, which with friends is very, very unlikely. So he's inviting them both to brunch. He's going to be paying for their meals, most likely. They're going to expect that. And so he's offering them brunch to have a nice, friendly conversation. And then what's he going to do with it? Because if I recall, this girl is leaving the next day, so he doesn't have much time. So it's not like he's going to go on multiple other dates. He's just going to go on brunch and then nothing's going to happen. Like, he could hypothetically separate one girl from the other in the brunch, but it's going to be very difficult in that situation. It's a lot easier from, say, a nightclub or a bar to separate one girl from the friend, or you can find another guy for the friend and then basically you both pull. That's another thing you can do. But that scenario he's made for himself is not ideal at all. And I don't know why he's doing that. So overall, this interaction was kind of terrible at the beginning. It's about as bad as you can get, because he's actively doing something that makes them uncomfortable and shocked. But he did do a good job recovering it. And he was also persistent, but the way that he went for the number was definitely not the most effective.
What do you...
Do you know where the Gaines Memorial Building is? I gotta be
No.
honest. I stopped you because I thought you were super cute.
Oh, thank you.
I'm David.
I am Darby.
Darby?
Darby.
With a D?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
What are you up to today?
I'm walking home. I have
So
class
this
right
one has
now,
a
but-
better angle where you
Skipping
can
it.
see that his body language is pretty stiff, right? He's tight. He's tight and he doesn't seem comfortable. He seems just like a little fidgety, which is a sign that this guy doesn't have much experience with cold approach, that he's basically closer to a beginner as opposed to someone who should be an instructor or a coach. And based on what I've seen so far, that's not too surprising, right? Like, he doesn't say anything interesting. He doesn't keep the conversations going. What he's doing is useful for beginners. Like, he can help a beginner get their first wins, right? Get their first approaches, their first numbers. But I don't think he can help you with anything beyond that.
Giving it because I'm tired.
It's a badass.
Yeah. Thanks.
Look, I'll let you run. I gotta go
thank
meet a
you.
friend. But what do you want to hang out sometime?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, cool. What's your phone number?
832.
Hey. I'm sorry, you look absolutely compelling. Todd.
I'm waiting for a friend.
I expect that. I expect, someone as lovely as your first appearance suggests would have friends.
You were good.
I have no idea what you mean by that.
So she said, "You are good," right? Basically saying he's smooth, he's picking her up effectively. That's something that How to Beast probably never hears, right? Because Todd V, there's some things he's done that are really bad, but he does know how to stand out. He does know how to say things that get the girl more intrigued and more invested and to want to know more, to want to keep the conversation going, because it's not just very flat, very logical conversation that doesn't really grab her attention. Todd V is much better at standing out.
Apparently at this moment I'm talking to you. We'll go grab a drink in a little bit, but what is your story quickly before you meet your friend and vanish from my life forever?
Wow.
Yeah, and I travel out there a lot, but I usually stay in because I do work out there. So
You live here though?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you do?
I'm a public speaker. So I technically don't work here. I technically work everywhere, and then I come
Yeah.
back here to have fun between periods of work, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah. Here's the place to have fun. That's what I'm back here for this week, just to mess around and then I'm back.
So can I entice you to come back? Meet a cute place.
Entice me to come back where?
Here.
Oh,
New York.
eventually I'm gonna be back.
I mean, not like this street corner. I'd prefer that the next time we hang out, we do it inside somewhere sort of posh and
Not on the
relatively
street?
nice. Yeah. I prefer to not meet girls on the street, but I didn't have a choice in your case, and you seem worth
Thank
it.
you. I have actually never been approached on the street. So.
Really?
Well, normally.
So I like that line. It shows a lot of social awareness where he said, "I prefer not to approach girls in the street, but I had no choice," which is basically, you were so interesting, so compelling that even though I normally wouldn't do that, I had to. So that's a really good frame. Now, also, pay attention to what she said. "I've never been approached on the street." Now, I'm sure she's been catcalled. I'm sure homeless people have harassed her or whatever, but she said she's never been approached on the street. Now, her face is blurred, but She looks like she's probably not that bad, right? Not that unattractive. She looks well put together. She looks attractive. She's in good shape at the very least. It is exceptionally rare for men to approach a woman and, ask her out in the day, sober in the day. That is very rare. That's part of the power of day game, is that it makes you stand out. The girl will remember the approach because things like that happen to her very infrequently, right? Really think about that. It's never happened in her entire life. So when you're competing against Tinder, against Instagram, with all these other guys that are hitting her up, it's a lot less likely that she's going to remember you. But if you approach a girl, especially during the day, but even at nightclubs, it doesn't happen nearly as much as you would think. When you approach a woman in real life, you stand out, she's going to remember you, and the chances of you seeing her again are much higher.
I'll try to avoid that.
It's good. I appreciate that. That certainly excludes certain professions for you, which I appreciate. It's good. At least if you do them, you do them well.
No, I'm rolled.
That was a great way of teasing her by implying that she might be a hooker, but in a way that is non-invasive and that doesn't, that isn't offensive, right? Because it'd be very easy to be, are you a hooker? Like, that would be, what the fuck? Like, get the fuck out of here. That wouldn't work. But he's doing it in such a subtle way that it's a really good example of teasing.
Let's do this. Why don't I will let you know where we end up later tonight.
Okay.
If you want.
Sounds good. Lovely to meet you.
You as well. Hopefully, I will always, forever be the cutest, best man. No, actually, maybe not. If you ever meet a cuter,
I hear what I know.
If you ever meet a cuter, better man than me on the street, marry him instantly. But it doesn't exist, so I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry to have ruined street for you ever.
I guess this is it.
It's a lot of pressure.
Well, you put it on yourself. All right, my friend, she's across the street.
Okay, cool. I'll meet you soon.
All right, bye.
All right, the way he left seemed a little dismissive, right? It seemed a little off. And I would also say that line at the beginning was really good. May I forever be the cutest guy. I mean, his language is a little more flowery than necessary. I wouldn't recommend going that far. But that line initially is pretty good. But then he follows it with, no, I'm actually always going to be the cutest. It was just a little try hard, kind of uncalibrated. I didn't like that. So there's some lines he says that are really intriguing and draw the girl in and are effective, but he also sometimes says something that I think is shooting himself in the foot, something that is having the opposite of the intended effect, because it's just making him seem a little bit try hard or a little bit corny. However, if I'm to compare overall Todd V versus How to Beast, Todd V does more things that are impressive, but he also made more mistakes. Whereas How to Beast, he doesn't really do anything that well, but he also doesn't really do anything that bad, right? He's just kind of solid, extremely basic, extremely beginner level in terms of the way he's approaching, but at least he's not like frightening girls, right? And he's not saying cheesy lines that are completely unnecessary. But overall, I would have to give it to Todd V, because even though he's making some mistakes, I'd say his pickup batting average, or his success rate, if you will, in terms of how many of the girls he approaches will he actually get a date with, is going to be higher, because he's doing a lot more to stand out. He's doing a lot more to make the girl remember her interaction with him. She's going to play it back in her mind, whereas with How to Beast, he just said, hi, what's your number, right? It's not very memorable and it's very basic. And also let me know, whose infield do you want me to break down? Let me know in the comment section below. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a lot of value from it. And if you did, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so that you get notified whenever I release a new video.